Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, I've been talking about some weird experiences I've had in my life and some scary stories from when I was a kid and stuff like that. And one of the weirdest things that's happened to me kind of consistently is I have visions. Um, they're usually just little flashes of like something. It's like kind of having something projected in front of you for a second. It's like sort of it's like you're watching a TV and then there's something else showing on it for a minute. It's really weird. I don't know when I became aware of it, but it's happened for years. And usually it's just random things. Like I said, I'll be watching TV and I see myself watching something else. And then I'll be watching that show. I'm like, oh, I saw myself watching this like a couple of weeks ago. And sometimes it just feels like deja vu. Other times I'm conscious of it and I can remember, okay, I just saw myself looking at this. Remember that, and you'll see it later. And I would. And it was kind of weird, but it was never anything important. I wasn't getting like visions of like, someone falling down a well so I can save them or something. It was like nothing like that. It was just the most random, weird little things. And the only time it was ever anything scary was I was standing in the bedroom of my house before this, and I was looking at the TV screen in the corner past my bed, and there was this white screen, like a white something white, and just a scroll of the news just going along the bottom, and it was too small to read because it was like TV back in the day, like on an actual like analog TV, and I just remember thinking, what am I looking at? And then a month or so later, after the London bombings, I was watching the TV from that angle, standing up because I was listening to the news, and I sort of stopped because sometimes those news stories sort of just stop you in your tracks, and you're just standing there watching the TV. You didn't plan to sit down and watch it; you just sort of stop where you are. And I was looking at the screen, and there was a white wall, blank like screen, just like a white wall, and there were dots on the wall. And what it was one of the bombs that had gone off in the bus. They were showing a wall that had blood sprayed on it from the people who'd been injured. And then there was the scroll running on the bottom, like, oh my God, that's what I saw a couple of weeks ago. I saw myself watching this picture of this white wall with blood sprayed on it, and I didn't know what it was. So that's the only time it was ever something like important, but how could I have known what that was? It's not like I could have worked out what that was and called up London and said, you're about to have a bombing. Psychic visions don't work like that. It's not like that. It's just these weird flashes. Like, I remember one time I was sitting on a bus, and for a second I saw myself looking at the back of a different seat, and there was an old lady sitting down next to an old guy, and I'm like, what did I just see? It was like different coloured seats, like it wasn't what was in front of me. And then not long after that, I was on the catamaran, and I was looking at the row of seats in front of me. They were a different colour, and then this old lady came down and sat down. It was the lady that I saw, and she sat down with her husband, and they were the people who were sitting in front of me for the whole ride. And I'm like, oh, I saw that. Now, one time I actually had a vision when I was in front of a friend, and I said, okay, I just saw like this. Like, please remember that, because that's going to happen, and I want you to be like proof. And then, I can't remember what it was, but a couple of weeks later it happened. And I said, do you remember me telling you that I was going to see like this and this? And then she said, no. And I'm like, oh, thanks, because I remember it, but she didn't remember. She didn't take it seriously, I guess, or she wasn't paying attention. And like I said, it's never been anything important or anything, that could help me or anything. It's just these weird. I'll just see myself doing something, and I'll be doing something. I'll see myself doing it in a different way, and I'm like, okay, next week I'm going to be doing I'm going to be doing this, and then a week or so later I'll be sitting there, and suddenly I'll be saying something, or there'll be a word or like a line in a movie or a TV that I'm watching, and hearing that while looking at something, while doing something, and then I'm like, oh, I remember seeing that. It's just really weird. And like I said, I'm not a psychic. I can't predict the future. I can't see things. I can't, stop people from, getting hit by cars or anything. It's like you hear these stories of these people who see things before they happen, and they can go and tell someone, and save the day or something. It's not like that. It's just these weird little flashes where I just see myself doing something in the near future, and then being aware of myself doing that at some point. And it's just really strange. It doesn't always happen though, because sometimes I have long periods where it doesn't happen, and then I have other periods where it happens a lot, and I feel like, okay, I must be in the right place now because I'm seeing the future a lot. Whereas sometimes when I don't see anything for a while, I feel like, am I where I'm supposed to be? Because I feel like I'm not sort of seeing anything. It's kind of weird. But I just want to share that in case anyone has had any sort of experience like that. And yeah, feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I don't know. I think there are a lot of unknown things in the world, and a lot of things, a lot of human mind. We haven't really explored it all, and I don't have any answers for these experiences that I've had, but I think they're interesting to sort of examine and think about.